real beer battered chili rellenos. And guacamole made at the table. This place is to die for. I decided to take the western route through Chama, primarily because of the train, but I found that if I got rid of my bear canister, I could drop about 10 pounds. So I tried that. A train ride in the mountains. I took advantage of their special deal for hikers and bikers where they drop us off at Cumbres Pass. The coal-fired steam engine is beloved not just by passengers, but as you can see, people would line up all along the route to take pictures, wave. It was really quite the experience for them and for us, I suppose. A momentous day for me and moment. By hook or by crook, I'm in Colorado. Climbing the Manga Pass. At the Alpine Village, I guess, but out below us. We're at 10,000 feet up in the air. After the train dropped us off at Cumbres, you began the climb up La Manga. Now, of course, this is going northbound, and it was actually spectacular. It was really incredible riding through the valley. It was a good road. The drivers were very polite. And as you can see, the wind was at my back, which made it especially sweet. Let's go. Orca's next. I love Colorado. And I just got here. I'm happy to stay here. After Horka, the riding up through the valley is really a lovely ride, and the Canoes Valley region was having a 4th of July picnic. I joined them and actually played flute for them while they were serving their lunch. Good morning. It's only 27 degrees. Perfect temperature to not get out of bed. But I did anyway. I don't think I'm going to be going anywhere today. I am at Lake Fork Campground, just 5 measly little miles from Platoro. But my big leg, my pedaling muscle, I don't know what its name is. Probably something like Steve or Brutus. Anyway, it hurts really bad. So I think I'm going to probably have to stay here for a couple of days. We're set up. I'm just hoping I have enough food, enough Skittles to last me. And then we'll carry on, but we'll see how it goes. It's a beautiful day. This is a really nice campground. You can probably hear the creek. It's really moving along, roaring in the background. So we've got water, got everything we need. For a day or two anyway. I can't imagine a more idyllic setting to be forced to camp at while waiting for a pulled muscle to recuperate. I'm going to stay here a couple of days at Fork River Campground. It's absolutely pastoral. Monet was particularly interested in painting differences in light and shadow, contrasts. He would have loved quaking aspens. I find the aspens really hard to photograph, though, in terms of their quakingness, the sparkling effect you get when you look at them. It's not nearly as effective or dramatic on a camera, and I think I've decided it's because when we look at it with our eyes, you get a constant repetition across one eye and then to the other of the same leaf moving, which makes a much more interesting and dramatic quaking effect. Well, I know I'm going to survive because I found my one Dr. Pepper. Ooh, I'll be fine. It's the 4th of July, or yesterday was. So the campground is actually really full. The camp host, well, the nicest choice spots are all full. This chap wouldn't leave my picnic table, so we sat and admired each other and grew rather close. Good morning from Stunner Campground on the way up to Indiana Pass. That's today's goal for me, is to get up to the flats just beyond Elwood Cabin, Shinzil Flats. At least that far. It's a nice 8-mile climb from here to there. We're just shy of 10,000 feet here at Stunner Campground. And then, of course, the pass is just shy of 12,000 feet. So it'll be a nice climb. It's much warmer this morning. It's in the upper 30s instead of the lower 20s. So that's nice. And you can see the sun is just starting to come into the campground valley here. It'll be here in just a moment where it will. I am looking forward to it drying out my tent. Last night I packed up the tent wet. Today I decided I'm just going to wait until it warms up enough to dry it out, so I don't have to have a wet tent tonight. I have time, so let's do that. Stunner Campground. Couldn't quite make it time-wise over the top, so I settled for this. Lovely little place. Not only is the scenery splendid from my window, but so is the thunder. It's cloud-to-cloud lightning, so it's not problematic, but it is quite dramatic. Had a little bit of, slush just a few minutes ago, still sticking to the top of my tent. Big, fat, splatty pieces of snowy hail. Went on through. So, be an interesting night. I'm bundled up. About as bundled up as I can get. Adventure and drama. They go hand in hand. A rather significant roundup of the sheep was taking place, so this cowboy allowed me to take his picture. Though I'm not sure if he's a cowboy. Maybe they're sheep boys. I don't know.
The hills are alive with the sound of music. The song they have sung for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart with the sound of music. My heart wants to sing every song it hears.
Riding through the Indiana Pass, Mo Valley, shall we say, up there at the top from Shinzil through the pass was the hardest thing on our GDMBR so far for me. In fact, the last mile, I was debating whether I should just drop dead or keep going. I made it. One question I get asked a lot: aren't you scared out there alone? Well, here I am, over 10,000 feet in elevation. Let's see what it says, 10,400 feet. And surrounded by forest, wild forest. There's nobody. I have no idea where the nearest human is. There's certainly no cell service. So you're about as alone as you're going to get. And You know, I have no idea what's down there. Here, a creek. I have no idea. I have no idea what's up there. Okay. You have to operate with a heightened sense of awareness. There's no other way to put it. And, you know, you have your bear spray, which works on all animals, not just four-legged ones. You hope you don't have to use it ever. But, you know, having grown up in the forest, in the Sierra Nevadas, you get a healthy respect for the animal life, and you get something of an understanding of what to expect in terms of behaviorisms, etc. You can't always predict wild animals. In fact, they're really hard to predict. The only time I was really scared was underwater. It wasn't a shark either. We were scuba diving in the Marshall Islands. I spent a year on Manager Road teaching, and Eric Engen and I were diving. We were down, I don't know, probably 60, 80 feet. Not terribly deep. And on that island, it's a sharp drop off. There's no bottom under you. Basically drops off into the deep. And we were enjoying the coral and fish, and I turned around and grabbed Eric. He was right there coming up behind us. It was the largest fish I'd ever seen. Fish, not mammal. It was a tuna fish. That thing had to have been 6 feet long. It was bigger than I was. And that fish, I grabbed Eric. We backed up against the wall. So we had our backs against something. And this big tuna came gliding right in front of us. His big eye looking back and forth between Eric and me, back and forth. He didn't twitch, he just sat there looking at us. Oh, I could see every scale on his back, every tooth in his mouth. Do tuna fish have teeth? I don't know. I'm kidding. I could see every detail. Man, he wasn't but 20 feet away from us. Scared me to death. I kept saying, him, he's the better dinner meal than I am. That tuna fish kept looking us over and finally kept going. Neither of us looked very good for dinner, obviously. A fact that I'm very happy to report. I am not a good dinner. Don't try it. That's the only time I was truly frightened. I had no idea what he was going to do. If he had attacked us, not that tuna fish attack humans, I didn't know what he was going to do. He'd have won. Hands down. Man, he was big. Out here, heightened sense of awareness. Be aware of your surroundings. You know, you got your horn, you got your bear spray. I've got a loud whistle. So I think everything heard me. I'm okay now. Let's go. The colorful Iron Creek. Wonder if that's where I'm going. My son, Sterling, asks me the other day, so Dad, why is so many things in your bike breaking? And I tried to explain to him. This is a rough ride. Long ride. Especially areas like this. 1 or 2 track. Headed up Indiana Pass right now on the 2 track. It's a forest road, but wow. I'm northbound, heading up where it's really bumpy. So everything's taking constant abuse. All your bags are bouncing up and down constantly. Can't stop it. So they rip. Both of my stem bags have ripped. I have 3 stem bags. two main ones have ripped. I'm gonna have to order new ones of those. Hope they hold together long enough till I get to my resupply. All of my Sea to Summit bags have worn holes in them. Nothing wrong with the Sea to Summit bags. It's just a constant motion. My Wildcat, which holds my tent and my sleeping pad and pillow, that's gotten holes worn in it, and it's mounted on the handlebar. So my clothes are getting holes in them. Everything, including the human pedaling the bike, is being abused. That's what the GDMBR is. An abuse trail. Let's go. It wasn't the early mining operations that created the problem. It wasn't until 1984 that a large modern mining operation was begun, and cyanide leach technique was used to extract the gold from the ore. Unfortunately, that cyanide leaked into the water, and only a few years later, in 1992, Colorado requested assistance from the EPA, and the EPA immediately began operations to detoxify the water and the water systems that had been contaminated by cyanide. So far since 1994, the U.S. government, the taxpayers, have spent $250 million trying to clean up after the cyanide leach process. The actual ascent up Indiana Pass sort of begins at Summitville, and it just keeps on going up. It's steep and at high elevation. I'm told a lot of hike and bike took place here. I don't really remember. I think I was unconscious for a lot of it. All I remember is there was a lot of breathing going on. Indiana Pass. Old grayback. And the prettiest alpine flowers you ever did see. Del Norte ahead. Still a little ways. Coming off Indiana Pass was something of a disappointment. There was no mariachi band or anybody. Nothing. Not even a sign. But look at that view going down to Del Norte.